After the off day, the Houston Astros getting ready for a little baseball on this Tuesday night. It's interleague baseball at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. The Giants are in town. They are playing .500 baseball so far in the season. The Houston Astros at a season's best 12 games over .500, 30-18. Just a two-game series before the Astros head back out of town. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another night of Astros baseball. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Good series, Blummer, for the Astros against their nemesis from last year, the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, they took care of business here at home. It's good to see it. It's a good ball club in Cleveland. They'd like to have a great series here against San Francisco because it's going to be an interesting road trip with Cleveland and New York.
The Giants get the top two pitchers in ERA in the American League. When you're with the Astros, though, you're usually below two. At least more than half of their rotation is in that category.
Yeah, in order to be in this rotation, it seems that you do have to have that 2 or under ERA. And remember, Lance McCullers had a little bit of a blow-up in Minnesota. If you take that out, he might be the fourth guy on this list. But Verlander, Cole, and Morton are getting it done. And when you start putting up numbers that are this good in the sub-twos for as long as they're doing it, we have to reach back in time and check out 1968 with the Cleveland Indians and New York Mets. And there's some other numbers that we'll probably talk about throughout the broadcast that'll go back even deeper in history.
1968, the year of the pitcher throughout Major League Baseball. Garrett Cole on that list, and he has been great this year.
He is our Ford pitcher, best in Texas. Again, Garrett Cole brought to you by Ford. That last start against Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, I was not on that, but in talking to my good buddy TK, he said that a lot of two-strike pitches were fouled off. The Anaheim Angels gave him a hard time, chasing some pitches up out of the zone to get that strike. But it is also the slider that failed him. He did not get that slide over, and it was not effective for him. Therefore, a lot of fastballs led to a short outing.
He'll be opposed by a lefty tonight as the Astros will face a 25-year-old Andrew Suarez that they have not seen before. The Giants and the Astros coming up right around the corner. Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Volkswagen. Getting ready for an interleague matchup tonight, the Astros and the Giants. When we come back, Bart Ennis will join us and talk about Jose Altuve and his recent success.
One of this little mini two-game interleague series. Astros trying to build on what was a very nice series win over the Cleveland Indians. And of course, Jose Altuve was a big part of that. That's no surprise. And in our HEB No Player Does More segment, we're going to take a closer look at Altuve, because about 10 days ago when the Texas Rangers were here, Jose uncharacteristically struggled through an 0 for 13 series against those Rangers. But it didn't take him long to turn that back around. And as he comes into action tonight, he's got a 6-game hitting streak going. In that Cleveland series, Jose was 5 for 12 for a .417 average. A.J. Hinch told me before tonight's game that as the manager of a major league team, he has a lot of stuff to worry about, but he never worries about Jose Altuve.
Yeah, well, let's clarify that a bad day for Altuve is like one hit, or you know, an 0 for 4 is, you know, the world's coming to an end, right? Yeah. So he did go through a low streak. He doesn't have to carry us for our team to be good. Obviously, we're our best when we're at our best. You know, he's an integral part of that. But you know, I don't think there's a lot of pressure on any of our guys to have to be the guy, which is the way this team's built. It's the way that we perform. Same goes in the rotation. Same goes in the bullpen. So. If we're operating at a great level, then if he does have a bad stretch or an 0 for 4 or something like that, then usually somebody else is stepping up and doing well.
And one more milestone for Altuve, guys. Today, he's playing in his 1,000th game at second base for the Astros, joining just Craig Biggio and Billy Dorn as the only 3 Astros to have ever done that. TK, back up to you.
Yeah, pretty select company right there, Bart. Thank you very much. Altuve will be in there at second base tonight with Garrett Cole going against the National League team, the San Francisco Giants.
8 out of 9 starts for Garrett Cole have been quality starts. It was that last start out against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim that did not qualify for that quality start. It was also the shortest outing in this season for Garrett Cole, only going 5 innings. Scattered 5 hits, gave up 3 earned runs, 2 of them via the home run. 7 strikeouts in that ball game, and Garrett Cole still has that 1.75 ERA. We talked about the slider was not effective for him. It'll be interesting to see how that affects his pitch usage tonight if he worked on that in between starts.
Here's the lineup he will face for the San Francisco Giants, led by Bruce Bochy in his 12th year with the Giants. Corquez Hernandez leads off in left field, followed by Andrew McCutchen in right. Buster Posey behind the plate. Brandon Belt, reigning National League Player of the Week, bats cleanup. Evan Longoria at third base. Brandon Crawford is the shortstop. Pablo Sandoval is the DH. Austin Jackson in center field, and Kelby Tomlinson plays second and bats ninth. OG, 12 years with the San Diego Padres prior to joining the Giants, now in his 12th year with San Francisco. Garrett Cole, who is in the National League his entire career before this season, makes his 7th career start against the Giants. And the Astros have faced 3 teams so far this year in interleague play. The Padres, the Diamondbacks, and now the Giants, and Cole has made a start in all 3 of those series. We're underway with a fastball that misses at 96 miles an hour. Tim Timmons behind the plate. And on the first pitch, Timmons tells Cole that pitch was outside. Garrett Cole in those 6 previous starts against the Giants, 4-1 with a 3.18. In his starts against the other 2 National League teams this year. 7 innings of shutout baseball against the Padres with 11 strikeouts. And the best pitch game of the season by not only an Astro but anybody in the major leagues, you could say, even with no hitters, may have been Garrett Cole's outing against the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. 9 innings of 1 hit, 16 strikeout baseball.
Just pure domination in that game against Arizona.
Soft little flare into right field that falls in front of George Springer. Gorkys Hernandez didn't hit it hard, but he's a leadoff base runner. Here's the starting defense for the Astros, brought to you by Xfinity. You saw Springer and right, a little different look to the Astros outfield tonight. Tony Kemp is in center, and J.D. Davis gets his first start in left field. He played 6 times there for the AAA Fresno Grizzlies. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa on the left side. Altuve, as Bart mentioned, in his 1,000th game at second base. And then Yuli Gurriel, Max Stassi behind the plate. Giants have about the similar stolen base numbers as the Astros. They don't run a whole lot. Their team leader has 3, as does the Astros, with Bregman and Altuve with 3. Andrew McCutchen takes a called strike. McCutchen hits the ball hard to center field, sending Kemp back. Still on the move. He jumps up and makes a nice catch. Tony Kemp gets it in quickly as he made that play on the run to retire Andrew McCutchen.
Good play by Tony Kemp. Match from Supermo is going to give you a good idea. Going up with 2 hands, even still on the run, to make sure he secured that ball. An interesting alignment out there, having J.D. Davis in left and Tony Kemp in center. Not sure Tony Kemp has played much right field, but I know that J.D. Davis has only played a couple of games in the minor leagues in right field. So the stronger version of the outfield is this setup for A.J. Hinch.
And since we last had a broadcast, J.D. Davis has come up to the team with Derek Fisher going on the DL. And J.D. is as hot as anybody was down at the minor leagues. There's a lot of Pacific Coast League pitchers who were happy that J.D. got the call up.
No doubt. I also thought it was good that J.D. Davis, when he got sent down, was kind of on that upswing. He started to figure things out, getting some base hits. And he understood that if he went down there and continued to swing the bat, he'd have another opportunity, and here it is.
Derek Fisher had an issue with his digestive tract, GI issue, and he is on the DL, and the Astros hoping to get some answers and get him back to the playing weight they'd like and see him back and healthy for this team. So in the interim, after Jake Marisnick was sent down, you've got J.D. Davis in left and Tony Kemp in center. Posey fouls it back. It's 1-2. Cole's been very good in 5 of his 6 starts against the Giants, allowing 7 runs in his 1 loss. That came last year in Pittsburgh on June 30th. Every other start has been very solid. Astros and the Giants don't see each other all that much anymore, but this is a team, the Giants, that other than the Cincinnati Reds, the Astros in team history have played more than any other team.
A lot of that has to do with the National League West that I remember. Giants, Dodgers, Padres, Braves even. These Houston Astros.
And Cincinnati.
That's right. Some interesting alignment.
Their most wins are against the Reds, second most against the Cubs, even though they played more games against the Giants, and then their third most wins coming against the San Francisco Giants. But the last time they saw them was 2015. The Astros moved to the American League just once every 3 years for Bochy and his crew to take on these Astros. It'll be a 2-game series here, and then the Astros will go to San Francisco in August. That's a swing and a miss. Buster Posey tried to hold up, but he goes down for Garrett Cole's first strikeout of the night. Time now for the TXU Power Player to Watch. Seems like the Astros are running into a lot of Players of the Week and Players of the Month right after they get honored. And in this case, Brandon Belt wins the National League Player of the Week, and what a week it was.
It was basically a homestand for Brandon Belt. Also, 5 of those home runs coming right there at AT&T Park. Is it still called AT&T Park? Or
it is.
Some other.
No, it stayed that way. I know the other stadium across the bay from there changes.
We could just say some cellular company park.
It is still AT&T Park, and we get to be there for 2 games, Monday and Tuesday, August 6th and 7th.
Really one of those fun 2-game series.
0-2 the count. Cole ahead of Brandon Belt. Belt has 4 extra base hits against Garrett Cole and 16 career at bats. 3 doubles and a home run. This guy comes in with an OPS above 1,000.
It's doing some damage this late in the season to be able to have that OPS up over 1,000.
If he didn't win the Player of the Week award, it may have been Garrett's brother-in-law. The other Brandon Crawford, had a monster week too.
Yep.
But we saw Francisco Lindor fresh off back-to-back Players of the Week, and the Astros held him down. He had just 1 hit in that series and 13 at bats. Foul tip caught by Stassi. That's a strikeout for Garrett Cole as he gets Belt to end the top half of the first. 1 hit, 1 man left on base. Let's check out today's Astros starting lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, with George Springer at the top of the lineup, followed by Alex Bregman riding a 5-game hitting streak. Jose Altuve, just heard Bart talk about him. Carlos Correa bats cleanup. Yuli Gurriel, J.D. Davis, Evan Gattis, Max Stassi, and Tony Kemp round out your Astros lineup.
25-year-old Andrew Suarez out of Miami, making his 6th start, 1-3 record, 28 strikeouts in those 27 2/3 innings pitched. Fastball is going to be 90 to 92 miles an hour. He has a cutter, curveball, and a changeup. I also think it's interesting to see that A.J. Hinch does have only one left-handed hitter in that lineup. The reason being, Andrew Suarez is very good against left-handed hitters this season, holding him to a 176 average.
George took the first couple of pitches. First one to strike, the next one inside. It's 1-1. Springer had a 4-for-11 series against the Indians, and overall batting .338 for the last month plus his last 33 games. Pitch misses low. It's 2-1. Astros start the night with a record of 30-18, 12 games over 500, matches their high water mark of the season. George taps one back to Suarez, a couple of bounces, and he makes the play to first.
First inning is the inning you want to go out and get Suarez. That's big for him. If he's able to get past that and settle in, it's usually pretty good. As you see the pitch usage with that fastball, cutter, curveball, and changeup. But his first inning ERA is at 12.6. And the batting average against him in this first inning is .385.
That's 8 of his 17 runs, almost half his runs in that first inning. And pretty much across the board, righties, lefties, all those pitch usages are pretty close to the same. The one exception being he'll only throw the changeup to right-hand hitters as Bregman flies out to center field for out number 2. It's a Twitter Tuesday tonight. We can have you send in your tweets to at ATT Sportsnet SW. This year, the National League's kind of wide open, and the American League is 3 teams for the most part that have had the best records, with the Yankees, the Red Sox, and your Astros. But in the NL, who do you think's going to be the team to beat in the National League? Give us your thoughts on this Interleague Twitter Tuesday. My guess is most people heading into the 50th game of the season weren't thinking Atlanta, Milwaukee, and Colorado were going to be the division leaders.
You can count me in that group.
Cracked bat by Altuve, and it's a foul ball. Jose will go back for a new piece of lumber. I mean, the Dodgers have struggled, but here they are, just 5.5 games back, despite a 20-27 record. Arizona, last time we saw them, they had a great record going, but A.J. Pollock gets hurt, and they've been in a free fall lately.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are 1-9 in their last 10.
Giants are only 2 games back in the NL West starting today's play, despite being an even 500. The A's would like to say they are only 2 games back, and they're 3 games over, yet they're 4.5 behind the Astros. 1-2 the count. A's play at home tonight against the Seattle Mariners. As Altuve pops one up on the infield, the second baseman Kelby Tomlinson is there and puts it away. Good start for Andrew Suarez, a 1-2-3 first.
BVA Compass are available now for kids 12 and under. Buddies members receive 4 tickets to an Astros regular season game, a backpack, caps, socks, and exclusive opportunities throughout the year for only $25 plus tax. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today.
We go to the second inning. Astros and Giants underway from Minute Maid Park. Quick 2-game series literally in less than 24 hours. The Astros and Giants will play a day game tomorrow, where the Giants will head out of town and the Astros will head out to Cleveland. Evan Longoria leads off. Longoria, Brandon Crawford, and Pablo Sandoval facing Garrett Cole. This lineup really changed in the offseason with the addition of 2 guys that were really the faces of their franchise. Evan Longoria with Tampa Bay and Andrew McCutchen with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, these are big names. They're all stars, MVP candidates.
Longoria grounds 1 foul. So now instead of Crawford and Sandoval hitting around 4, 5, 6, those guys have bumped down a little bit. It's a lot thicker lineup for Bruce Bochy.
Yeah, it's nice when you can go out and add 400+ home runs to your lineup.
There you see Panda. He's hitting 7th in the lineup as the DH tonight. On the ground into the shift. Altuve's there. He bobbles and almost cost him, but he was able to recover in a hurry. So Longoria grounds out to start the second. Time to take on today's Garrett Cole and Brandon Crawford, brought to you by AARP. Well, the brothers-in-laws head-to-head, 4 for 18. Crawford, his sister Amy, marrying Garrett Cole.
I'll say Garrett Cole's a little more talkative at the Thanksgiving table than Brandon.
Swing and a miss. Well, this is the 1,000th career game for Brandon Crawford. So he will always have a memory of that. And they will have plenty of time to share those stories about what happened in career game number 1,000. Strike called on the outside corner. Garrett ahead quickly 0-2.
98. Not just 98, but 98 paint on that outside corner with the help of Max Stassi on our MD Anderson strike zone just off that edge. But we know that Stassi does a very good job of picking up some extra strikes.
A little flare into left. J.D. Davis can't get there in time. It bounces in front of him. So Crawford on an 0-2 pitch hits a single to left. Neither one of the hits by the Giants have been hit very hard.
Yeah, they're not going to light up the exit velocity scoreboards that we see, but hits nonetheless, and they always look like line drives the next day. And it's interesting having a guy like J.D. Davis, out there in left field. Usually a corner infield guy. When he's out in the outfield, they're not expecting him to go out there and make this spectacular play. They want him to keep that ball in front of him, keep the runners from advancing 90 feet.
Garrett kind of gave Brandon a little look after that little base hit, saying, I know that one worked in your favor, but that wasn't exactly well struck. Here's Pablo Sandoval, who showed bunt on the first pitch. Astros shading him around as a pull hitter with the shift. Upstairs is 2-0.
Tell you what, you've got to be well out of the zone to have the Panda take 2 pitches in a row.
He likes to swing up there. 68.8, softest hit baseball of the evening, the hit by Crawford. It's 2-1.
It's amazing to watch some of these pitchers like Verlander, Garrett Cole, Lance McCullers. They bear down in some of these hitters' counts and just bring absolute fuel. 97 in the lower part of the zone.
Got to play 2-2. Not only is it a Twitter Tuesday, but Tuesday nights at Minute Maid Park mean Dollar Dog Night. That is a full tray.
That is well played.
Pablo Sandoval, switch hitter, all his pop this year, 12 RBIs, all as a left-hand hitter, and his 2 home runs as a lefty as well. 2-2 pitch has him jumping out of the way. It's 3-2.
99.
Really?
Yep. Pretty good indication from that angle how quickly that ball jumps out of the hand of Garrett Cole. Not much time to get out of the way.
Crawford on the move. The pitch is a called strike. The throw by Stassi is in time. Strike him out, throw him out, double play. Cole, pointing to Stassi afterwards, was excited about his catcher helping him out.
Obviously been talking about this for a couple days, and then our organization was in contact with people to see if it would offer support and offer certainly our attention. It's one of the smallest things that we can do to continue the conversation about what happened not too long ago. So we offer support and our attention, certainly with these shirts, to keep the conversation alive on how to hopefully avoid the next school.
Astros today in batting practice wearing the Santa Fe Strong We Play for Santa Fe t-shirts. You see the green shirts that George Springer and the rest of his teammates had on today for BP, and also during this 2-game series versus the Giants, all proceeds from the Astros Share to Care 50-50 raffle will benefit Santa Fe Strong Memorial Fund. The Astros want to make sure everybody in that community realizes their thoughts, their hearts, their minds are still on that situation and trying to recover from that terrible tragedy.
And I like that they're wearing them, keeping the awareness out there and keep that conversation going, hopefully in the right direction where action is taken. But we've also seen a different situation last year with Hurricane Harvey, how the Astros family will rally around the community, and it's good to see them rallying around Santa Fe right now.
It was remarkable to see those kids get out there and play in a high school baseball playoff game right after that.
There we go. Santa Fe Strong, believe it.
We're with you, Santa Fe, for sure. So the Astros players showing their support prior to the game. 50-50 raffle hopefully will put up a big number for that fund as well tonight. 2-2 the count to Yuli Gurriel. Suarez has retired the first 4. He got Carlos Correa on 1 pitch to line out to center field. Yuli on the ground towards short. Crawford nicely to his left, and he makes the play for out number 2. take a look at tonight's Chevy Stroh poll. Which National League team do you miss playing the most? A, the Chicago Cubs, B, the St. Louis Cardinals, C, the LA Dodgers, D, San Francisco Giants. Send your pick to @ATT Sportsnet SW.
Should be, who do you miss beating up on the most? If you had the players voting in that poll.
Cubs, Cardinals, Dodgers, Giants. Those are your choices tonight as JD Davis digs in. JD's numbers at Fresno were off the charts. .415 batting average, 1126 OPS. He had 36 runs batted in 33 games. He was the best hitter in that league for the first month plus. And that didn't even include the fact that he was down here or up here with the Astros to begin the season, went 6 for 24. As Blummer said, we saw some signs before he went down that things were starting to go in the right direction.
Yeah, there was a series up in Minnesota where they gave him some ABs before they sent him out because they knew that timeline for Yuli was coming back. And he started to swing the bat a little bit better. Obviously carried it down in there to AAA in Fresno and started to tear it up. Same thing he did going down there, the same thing he wants to do coming back here is just maintain that momentum, maintain that swing.
You mentioned earlier about loading up with right-handers against the lefty Suarez. Yeah, with Yuli playing first and Evan Gattis DHing, this gives A.J. Hinch another righty in his lineup to be able to play J.D. Davis in left field tonight. And a swing and a foul tip caught by Buster Posey. That'll do it for the Astros. Suarez has retired the first 6. We're scoreless.
Weekday games. This offer includes a ticket, hot dogs, soda, and popcorn. Go to astros.com/ballpark bundle for tickets and more information. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Bart, we go to the 3rd inning. So far, both pitchers have been pretty good. Garrett Cole allowing 2 flare hits. Andrew Suarez hasn't allowed anything so far. As Austin Jackson will lead things off. Jackson went to Ryan High School in Denton, Texas, so back in his home state. Seen him for a lot of years with the Tigers and then the Mariners. Time with the White Sox as well, the Cubs in the mix. So most of his time has been in the American League. Playing with the Giants for the first time, the Indians last year. 1-0 pitches a called strike. It's 1-1. Cole has made 3 starts in the month of May. They have all come on the road. And he has a 1.80 ERA in those starts. And the team has won all 3 of his games. He has 2 of the wins. And then a no decision his last start in Anaheim. Overall, 9 starts in his Astros career, and the team is 8-1 in those 9 starts. 2-2 the count. It's remarkable to think about, as good as Verlander was in his first 10 starts, that Cole's putting up similar, if not better, numbers than what Justin did.
Doesn't have that big name. Doesn't get the recognition. It's just a mild trade pickup over the offseason. No big deal. No drama. But he's bringing it.
That's a called third strike. You were mentioning earlier how Stassi's framing is rated right at the top, and he shows it there again on an outside pitch.
He basically just absorbs the pitch. It's amazing. The most strikeouts in their first 9 starts with the Astros. Garrett Cole trying to chase down Randy Johnson. Only 3 behind him back in 1998. He had 96 punch outs. It's a little bit better than Justin Verlander so far.
Here's the pitch to Kelby Tomlinson. He takes a called strike. Tomlinson getting the start at second base. Joe Panik still on the DL for the Giants. Cole has 4 strikeouts of the first 8 batters he has faced.
I'll tell you what, that last pitch is a good pitch to see called for a strike, because we've seen Garrett Cole this season like to attack the strike zone up. And there was a pitch in that previous AB to Austin Jackson where he kind of stared down Tim Timmons a little bit, saying, hey, that's still a strike even at the top of the zone. And for those wondering, the franchise record through 10 starts is 108 by Randy Johnson.
So he just picked up another 12 on top of that 96.
Why not?
Swing and a miss. Slider puts him away. Garrett Cole with 5 strikeouts tonight. First time through the lineup, 2 outs in the third.
It's a pretty good angle. Watch the release of Garrett Cole on our Mattress Firm Super Mode. And that's that slider, and he's got good effect on it tonight. But it's not typical where he gets on the side of it and tries to slide it from east to west. He's really trying to lead with those fingers out in front and really pull down with a firm wrist. Creates that sharp bite, keeps the velocity up too. It's a little more of a traditional breaking ball.
Just so many weapons. Gorkys Hernandez singled his first time up. The 2 softest hit baseballs of this evening so far have both been hits by the Giants. Hernandez his first time up, and then the brother-in-law Brandon Crawford in the second inning. But a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole for the first time, including a couple of strikeouts. We head to the bottom of the third, still scoreless.
A nice outing so far for the young lefty Andrew Suarez. The Astros have 3 guys in their order today: J.D. Davis, Tony Kemp, and Max Stassi, who all faced Suarez in the minor leagues. In fact, A.J. Hinch told us guys that in the meeting before the game today, Stassi reminded him a couple of times that he took Suarez yard in the minor leagues. And A.J. said, yeah, I know, Max. I've already got you in the lineup. You don't have to keep selling it.
Yeah, you got to go remind those managers every once in a while. I appreciate it.
Because they have all the numbers on the head-to-head matchups at the big league level, but you don't necessarily get them from the minor leagues.
And it's always good to reinforce the positive and get your name in the lineup.
Well, Stassi against lefties this year has been automatic, hitting .500. Somebody needs to get on base against Andrew Suarez. He's gone through 2 innings in just 19 pitches against these Astros. As Evan Gattis sends one down the line and left, and that is a fair ball. Gattis heads to second. He will have a leadoff double for the Astros in the 3rd.
I'll tell you what, there's going to be 6 other guys in this lineup wondering why you didn't ask them to get on base. You finally ask and you receive. Evan Gattis getting ready for that heater inside, turns on it. That's the Evan of old who's on the attack, thinking swing first and hunting that fastball. Beautifully done with that line drive down that left field line.
Now here's the aforementioned Max Stassi, 2 for 3 in his minor league career against Suarez with those 2 home runs. 12 for 24 this year against lefties. And he takes one outside for ball 1. Biggest splits for the Astros, and maybe the biggest in all of baseball. 150 against righties and 500 against lefties.
It's not officially in your book until you hit a home run in the big leagues off the guy. So now would be a really good time.
Hit well to center field. Back goes the center fielder Jackson. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Gattis will score easily. Stassi thinking about 3. He's going to hold up with a double. RBI double for Max Stassi, and the Astros take a 1-0 lead.
That 500 average is going to get a little bit bigger for Max Stassi against left-handed hitters. And it's interesting, too, you talked about the 2 home runs he hit in the minor leagues. This might be why, well, he misses a spot by 1.5 feet. It's actually a great job by Max Stassi, probably wanting to turn and burn and try and launch one out of the ballpark, but instead gets a fastball away, goes up the middle to that right center field gap for an RBI double. That was beautiful.
He thought about a triple. I well saw a catcher get a triple.
You have yet to see that happen.
That's
amazing, isn't it?
I saw McCann get one last year in Anaheim.
That's true. Stassi with his head down did the internal calculations and shut it down.
Maybe with 1 out he gives it a shot.
True, very true.
But never want to make that first out at 3rd, especially with Tony Kemp batting right now. Kemp's been a little energy source for the Astros since coming up from AAA Fresno. He's done a nice job at the plate and in the field.
And you get a good idea of the awareness, too. Left-handed hitters are not doing well against Suarez, so what is he doing out there right now? Thinking about laying down that bunt, possibly for a base hit, but also to move Max Stassi 90 feet closer.
And Kemp could beat it out.
Absolutely.
Even in a sacrifice situation, bunts it towards 3rd. Suarez is going to have to make a tough play, and he does. Kemp made it close, but he gets a sacrifice out of it, and the fans appreciate it. He'll get a nice hand from his dugout mates.
So much talk about where is the bunt gone. But this is a great job by Tony Kemp, bunting it to 3rd base, forcing 3rd base to be vacated. Makes an easy read for Max Stassi, but you're not going to go up there and bunt with everybody in big league lineups these days. Tony Kemp is the one guy you can probably count on bunting in a bunt situation.
Now they bring the infield in against Springer, and that adds a few points to his batting average potential. He takes one for a ball, 1-0. Longoria and Crawford discuss things as to where to play with Max Stassi running on 3rd. If you're an infielder, you want to be, I guess, Blummer, as close as you feel like you need to be able to cut down the runner.
And save your life. Because George can turn on a baseball pretty good.
But if it was someone like an Altuve or...
Yeah, somebody that's not, you're not so much worried about destroying, you know, some of your dentures.
But I mean, if it was Altuve running,
yeah,
you might be a little
runner,
closer.
Yeah, you're taking into account the speed of the runner and the hitter right now if you're playing on the left side of that infield. That's why you see Brandon Crawford playing in the middle of the dirt. If it was somebody a little bit quicker, he's going to creep closer to the plate to be able to make that play.
2-0 to George. Upstairs, 3-0. Alex Bregman waits on deck. Stassi checking with Gary Pettis, making sure the contact play is on.
which you will see most frequently with 1 out.
Up the middle. Stassi scores easily. RBI single by George Springer. And the Astros take a 2-0 lead.
It's going to be by George, not trying to get too big. Just shoot it right back up the middle where they're not. Again, another mislocation for Suarez. George takes advantage of it. Even with that mild shift, he's able to shoot it through.
Stassi right in the middle of this inning, an RBI and a run scored, and here's Alex Bregman. Bregman flied to center his first time up. First pitch misses, ball 1. Curveball 77 miles an hour. Alex, a 5-game hitting streak, batting .316, has an .868 OPS this month. Taking for a strike, it's 1-1.
It's been a good month of Maine. It's been a good last 29 games for Alex, hitting .298 in those 29 games.
Even during that stretch, he has hit into some tough luck.
He has, I agree with you.
He could easily have that number around 350. Takes again, and now he's down in the count 1-2. Suarez, a 25-year-old out of Columbus High School in Miami. Drafted out of high school in the 9th round, elected to go to the U. University of Miami. Drafted again after his junior year in the 2nd round by the Nationals. It wasn't until he was drafted again by the Giants after his senior year that he finally signed after the 2015 season. 2-2 the count to Bregman. This year, his first year at the big league level, making start number 6. Now that Johnny Cueto's on the DL to go along with Madison Bumgarner. That Bum was out here today, only throwing a little live BP to try and get ready for his rehab start. He was also in the cage as a hitter. Shows you how much he thinks about his hitting.
It looked like he was swinging to get back on the DL. He was hammering baseballs all over this place. He was letting it go.
Springer only has 1 steal this year. That came in that last series against Cleveland.
Suarez might be coming set and just have a visual of George and be like, he's got to be going. This guy should be stealing every chance he gets.
Inside, ball 3, 3-2.
It's good to see George still getting a pretty good lead too. Sometimes get a lead out there like that, it'll entice that pitcher to throw over just to see if he, number one, if he can get you, or if you're leaning.
Now this is a possibility where George could go on a 3-2 pitch.
This is where it turns into a run and hit, where you see him take off, but he might be peeking in.
Got a late start there. It's a good thing Bregman found a bat. We have seen George a couple of times on the run and hit, look in and then stop between first and second when he hasn't felt like he's had a good jump. One time it worked out when the throw went to center field, but just got back to first.
That's when he stole first base.
He stole first. Still have to try and get a pretty good jump, just in case Bregman doesn't make contact. And Bregman does make contact down the line and left. Springer heads to third. Pettis waving him home. George is going to score. Alex Bregman the RBI, and the Astros lead 3-0.
third double in the inning for the Astros. Might have been a little bit of a cutter raked down that left field line. You can see the barrel kind of cast out a little bit for Alex Bregman, but he stayed through the zone so long it enabled him to get to that cutter and yank it down that third base line. And George scored easy. I think he was anticipating throw, but he scored easy.
I think he just wanted to get the uniform dirty.
And sometimes we like to call that a TV slide. It's always good.
Altuve was holding him up like, you're good. You can trot in, and he went head first just for the fun of it.
Because he can. You can see that front side kind of get out a little bit early for Alex Bregman, maybe anticipating the straight fastball. And here's your TV slide coming right into your living room.
At this point, the ball was loose around third base.
Yeah, he's making real sure they couldn't get the tag on him.
Here's Altuve. Bregman an RBI double. The Astros, after nobody reaching base the first 2 innings, bidding for more here. Deep fly ball to Jackson in center. Bregman goes back to tag as Altuve's retired. Altuve hit that pretty well to straightaway center field, but he's out number 2. Bregman on third base with 2 outs for Carlos Correa. Suarez had not allowed a base runner through 2 in this inning. 4 hits and 3 runs. Correa lined out on the first pitch he saw in his first at bat. Takes one down low, ball 1.
You can see it from the center field shot. Watch the feet of Suarez when he's on that rubber out of the stretch position. By the time he releases that ball, he'll be on that left big toe coming at you, completely removed from the rubber. Well on that first base side. Kind of creates that crossfire action that he tried to do a couple times to right-handed hitters to get inside. But the only part that's really in contact with that pitching rubber is the left heel.
2-1 the count.
See if we can get a better angle on it. There you go. Just got to start in contact. Not to some of the extremes. We've seen a couple of pitchers where they jump off the pitching rubber then release.
Correa the other way. It's 2-2. Carlos starting the game with 31 runs batted in, leading the team in that department. Astros coming off a series where they took 2 out of 3 against the Indians. They'll take on the Indians again after tomorrow's game for a 4-game set in Cleveland. Correa goes down swinging, but the Astros score 3 in the inning on 4 hits. RBIs by Stassi, Springer, and Bregman, giving Garrett Cole a 3-run lead. League, and one fan likes the Atlanta Braves and what they have done with their young team. Atlanta starting the night half a game ahead of the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East. Atlanta up 2-0 in that game in Philadelphia tonight.
They've been a couple of young teams out there in the East doing some damage. A lot of fun to watch, and I think the fans recognize that. It's good to see. Got some league leaders brought to you by Houston Methodist. That was your National League West, who the Astros are going to try and plow through on their way to another playoff bid this season. Middle of the pack, San Francisco at 500, only 2 games back.
Andrew McCutchen fouls one away. Leading off the 4th inning for the Giants, Garrett Cole threw 3, allowing just a couple of singles, and he has struck out 5. Astros have done well in interleague, especially under A.J. Hinch. Since A.J. took over in 2015, they're 45-21.
Ex-teammates getting to know each other again.
Called third strike. McCutchen threw the bat away, thinking he was heading to first, and now he can pick that bat up and head to the dugout.
Slider at 89 miles an hour, and Max Stassi doing some David Copperfield type stuff behind home plate, getting that call.
McCutchen had an argument there. Instead, it's a strikeout, 6 for Garrett Cole in the first out of the 4th inning. Here's Buster Posey. Chops a foul. National League will come down to the Dodgers and the Braves. A lot of Braves love tonight. Braves remind some of those viewers of the Astros a few seasons ago. Ozzie Albies, Ronald Acuna Jr. One and 1 the count. The Astros at 30-18 have a better record than anybody in the National League. Atlanta has the best record in the NL at 28-18. Which misses inside to Posey. It's 2-1.
That's one of the few times we actually may have seen Max Stassi take a ball away from the strike zone. Usually he's so good at bringing everything back into the strike zone.
Popped in the air into right field. Springer is there. George puts it away for out number 2. Since A.J. Hinch took over, the Astros in interleague play 45-21. Last 3 seasons plus this season. That's the 2nd best record during that span, behind just the Boston Red Sox, who have the same number of wins but 4 fewer losses. Brandon Belt the batter, and a swing and a miss. Alex Bregman was kind of in tight with the shift, and Garrett Cole right before the first pitch said Brandon Belt is not going to bunt. Do you mind backing up, please? As hot as this guy is.
Yeah, he's bringing home some hardware after last week. He probably wants to swing the bat a little bit, but I also think Garrett Cole understands his ability. We've seen him bounce off the mound pretty good. Or maybe he's daring him to bunt.
Yeah, take it. I'll be happy if you bunt right now.
Yeah.
Based on what you've been doing lately. Down in the dirt is 2-1. We have not seen many guys have success with the bunt against the shift this year. Either they haven't been able to get the bunt down, in some cases taking them out of an at bat. We saw that a couple of times with Joey Gallo. It's part physical strategy and part mental too, to see that left side open.
It really is. And a lot of these guys that are having these extreme shifts put on them seem to have been power hitters also, who are unaccustomed to just laying down a bunt for a hit.
Cole gets the corner. It's 3-2.
That's that slider again. He's gotten a couple of good ones, 4 strikeouts, but in a 3-1 count where a very good hitter might be sitting on 96, 97, uses a little bit of the off speed and some of that slide coming back to the plate to get the call.
Stassi's framed up some pitches very well this inning. And now the count is full on Brandon Belt. In on the hands, Springer is over. Makes the play for out number 3. Garrett Cole's retired 7 in a row, and we head to the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 Astros.
The 2017 championship with an exclusive piece of jewelry from Jostens World Championship Jewelry Collection. The fan collection features unique pieces for women, men, and children and is available in stadium and online throughout the season. For more information, visit astros.com/thering.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, Yuli Gurriel leading off, facing Andrew Suarez. Astros got to Suarez for 3 runs in the 3rd inning. And part of that reason has to do with not locating with first pitch strikes. He was just 1 of 7 in that last inning with first pitch strikes, and now he's behind Yuli 2-0. Yuli lays off on a pitch outside, is 3-0.
Yeah, the first 2 innings, 6 hitters. He looked like he was in cruise control, and you're right. The command has just eluded him these last 2 innings.
That one's poured over, is 3-1. Suarez with his first interleague start of his young career. Yuli sends one softly to right. Long run McCutchen, and he won't get there. It'll bounce in front of him. Yuli Gurriel normally hits the ball hard every time. That one was a little flare shot that finds its way into right field.
Time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Southern Oklahoma or Arlington, Texas. April 28th, 2007. Bill Nye, the science guy. Who's that Astro? If you know who it is, tweet at ATT Sportsnet SW.
Here's J.D. Davis, struck out his first time up. 1 of 2 strikeouts for Suarez. Takes a pitch for a ball. JD 6 for 25 as an Astro. I mentioned before, just leading everything in the AAA level. Pitches inside for a ball. It's 2-0. JD gets a start tonight in left field. Marwin Gonzalez, Josh Reddick, Brian McCann, all with the night off. day game tomorrow, so we'll certainly see McCann play against the righty. Jeff Samardzija makes the start for the Giants tomorrow. Second straight batter that Suarez has fallen behind 3-0. Inside, ball 4. First walk issued by Suarez, and the Astros have the first 2 on in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Giants had the day off yesterday, spent that day off in Houston after flying out after the recent homestand. Bruce Bochy used his bullpen extensively in that recent homestand.
Yes, he did. A couple of guys down there pitching back-to-back nights, throwing 20-plus pitches. Suarez is a guy who hasn't gotten over 100 pitches yet this season. The highest pitch count he had was in that last start at 96.
Gaddis pops up the first pitch, shallow right field, long run McCutchen. Tomlinson, it's going to be McCutchen who finally takes over and makes the catch for out number 1. McCutchen playing a lot of center field with the Pirates, now getting some time in right field. I'll bring up Max Stassi. Stassi doubled in a run his first time up, also scored a run. Takes a strike on the cutter. It's 0-1. Stassi rips one to left field. That'll be down for a hit. The Astros will have the bases loaded. Yuli held at third. Max Stassi 2 for 2 tonight, and 14 for 26 against lefties this year.
Just put him down for 2 hits tonight if a lefty's going to be on the mound. And another missed location. That one up, out, over the plate. Hit hard. And Yuli had to freeze because that ball was ripped off the bat of Max Stassi. 105.5 miles an hour off the bat.
Now Tony Kemp will bat with the bases loaded. Kemp rips one into right for a base hit. Yuli will score. Around third comes J.D. Davis. The throw over the catcher's head. Posey. Davis scores. 2 RBI single by Tony Kemp. It's a 5-0 lead.
That's not normal. Not Tony Kemp getting a hit, but a guy getting a hit off Andrew Suarez and hits left-handed. Young guys are infusing this lineup this season right now. Tony Kemp not wasting any time, gets a pitch up, out, over the plate, turns on it. I like the aggressiveness with guys on base.
Good jump by J.D. Davis off second base as well.
And J.D. Davis remembers, when you're on second base and a base hit, you better be looking for Gary Pettis to be waving you home.
A little discussion on the mound as the Giants get bullpen action going for the first time in this 5-0 game. Here's Johnson starting to warm up in the Giants bullpen. So Stassi right in the middle of a rally again. Tony Kemp driving in 2. Bottom third of the lineup has really done a nice job with 4 hits and 6 at-bats. Here's George Springer. Springer knocked in a run, scored a run his last time up. And George takes one outside, ball one. The message from their pitching coach Kurt Young is you got to start ahead of the count. That's been an issue for Suarez.
Slow things down a little bit, focus on that release point, make sure you make some good pitches to get ahead.
George fouls the breaking ball back. Springer with that RBI his first time up to 29 on the year. He and Carlos Correa have traded the team lead back and forth. Correa's had it for most of the season. Suarez threw 19 pitches in the first 2 innings. He's now up to 59. And behind in the count again, 2-1.
Laboring. Having a tough time with that fastball command.
The count. Astros out 5-0 for Garrett Cole tonight. Interesting when AJ had a choice tonight for that extra outfielder. He wanted to get JD Davis in, right-hand hitter. He wanted to keep George in the lineup, obviously, but that last outfielder, he could have chosen to go with a Marwin, chosen to go with a Reddick. Instead, he went with Tony Kemp, and Kemp makes it pay off.
It's amazing when these guys get opportunities and they take advantage of it.
Line drive caught by Crawford, and they get a double play. Nothing that Bregman could do, excuse me, nothing that Stassi could do on second base as he gets doubled up as George hits into a line drive double play. But the Astros scored 2 and lead it after 4, 5-0.
We all saw it, but there was one thing missing. At least I thought it was missing. And it was McCannon ball. 267th home run of Brian McCann's career. Doing a great job behind the plate. Working with this pitching staff who is putting up phenomenal numbers, but he's also helping the cause out with his 4th home run of the season Sunday night.
So many people are happy you just gave them that one.
Can't resist it. I look forward to that moment so often.
I was thinking that watching at home. Best records in the American League this year. There are 6 teams that are 500 or better in the AL. 4 of them reside in the Astros division.
It's pretty impressive. those 4 teams are going to have to continue to play each other throughout the course of the season, too.
A's have been really good lately. Seattle had another tough injury, D. Gordon going down today.
The one guy who was supposed to go in there and pick up a Robinson Cano's mistake.
And the Angels haven't played as well as they did earlier in the season. But they're still over 500 pretty comfortably, 5 games over, 26 and 21.
Last I saw, Garrett Richards was getting roughed up north of the border.
It was 5-2. The Blue Jays put all 5 up in the first inning.
5-3 now in the top of the 8th. But the thing for the Angels, if their rotation can stay healthy, that increases their opportunities. Having Ohtani in that rotation is going to be beneficial for them. The A's, you always question young teams. Are they able to carry this through the entire season? But Seattle, I think some of those injuries, those are going to pile up.
Garrett Cole's had a couple of long innings to wait the last 2 half innings, with the Astros scoring 5 runs in those 2 innings combined. He's 3-2 on Evan Longoria. It'll be Longoria, then his matchup again with his brother-in-law Brandon Crawford and Pablo Sandoval. Longoria hitting over 300 his last 10 games. He got off to a slow start with the Giants, as did Andrew McCutchen, getting used to their new team in San Francisco.
I was going to say, you know, these guys spending 6, 7, 8 years in one place and then moving. There's going to be a little bit of time for the adjustment to be made.
Spending all that time in the American League with Tampa Bay, and Garrett Cole spending all that time in the National League with the Pirates. Before tonight, they hadn't faced off against each other. Ninth pitch of this at bat, and a good plate appearance by Longoria, drawing the walk. Bart, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Todd. Yeah, this week on Astros Bases Loaded, we've seen what Max Stassi can do. Well, he is featured prominently on the show. We'll hear from the man who is proving to be more than reliable both behind the plate and in the batter's box, as we've seen tonight. Plus, third base coach Gary Pettis will tell us about seeing his son picked in the NFL draft. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded Friday after the game, only on AT&T Sportsnet. Guys?
All right. We'll check that out Friday. We will be headed to Cleveland, and we'll be there for that Friday night. Thursday is when the series starts. Bart will be with us in Cleveland as well. Kind of have some different wheels in motion during that series. We've got Julia missing the first 3 games of that series. Now the Saturday game isn't televised by AT&T, so everybody misses that game. Plummer, you'll miss a couple of games.
Yes, I will be there for Thursday's game in Cleveland, but Friday morning I'm going to get on a plane and I'm going to make my way to Cooperstown to play in the Hall of Fame Classic on Saturday afternoon in Cooperstown. And I am looking forward to it.
That'll be great. Good for you, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a unique opportunity that Reed Ryan and the Houston Astros offered to me, and I jumped at the chance.
As you should. And Crawford, facing his brother-in-law, down on the count 0-2, hits a soft chopper towards first, and it rolls foul. So you've been taking some swings?
Oh yeah, check. I'm going to have a video or 2 up on my Instagram. I was actually here yesterday on the off day, and Gene Diaz, who runs our PR here for the Houston Astros, he was in here throwing batting practice to his son Max, who's a junior in high school. And I said, hey, can I vulture in on some swings? And he said, sure, come on down. So Gene Diaz, our PR director, was throwing me batting practice in the visiting batting cage yesterday.
There you go.
Got a couple of videos that I'll put up on Instagram.
So that'd be cool. You'll represent the Astros?
Yes, yeah, there will be one player from each organization being represented up there in Cooperstown, and I will be wearing an Astros uniform, yes. I've opted to go with the white pants and the orange top.
Oh, you already picked out the uni.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
And I went with the color. I want to stick out, make sure everybody notices that I'm there. Bright orange top.
There you go. So we will miss you in Cleveland, but that's a cool moment that you'll get to participate in that game.
I'm sure I'll come back with a couple stories.
There you go. Staying at the famed Otesaga Hotel there in Cooperstown, where all the Hall of Famers stay for Hall of Fame weekend. You were there a while ago when you were in the minor leagues, is that right?
Yeah, I got drafted in '94 and went to play in the New York Penn League.
This ball hit to left field and well, and Crawford has just delivered a home run against his brother-in-law, breaking the shutout by Garrett Cole as he goes opposite field for a 2-run shot. Crawford's 5th home run of the year.
Make the conversation a little more interesting over the holidays. Tried to backdoor that slider, kind of turned into that cement mixer and stayed on that outside corner. Give Crawford credit for going into the Crawford boxes. Seems appropriate.
And he's been hot.
He has been swinging the bat well.
We mentioned Brandon Belt winning NL Player of the Week, but Brandon Crawford easily could have won it had it not been for his teammate. Both times Garrett Cole's gotten ahead of his brother-in-law 0-2. And both times he's given up hits. That resulted in a 2-run home run. It's now a 5-2 game as Pablo Sandoval is down to the count 0-2.
Anyways, last time I was there was 1994. We were on a road trip, and I believe we were in Oneonta, and a couple of us pulled some money together and rented a car and drove over. Spent the day in Cooperstown. It'd be nice to get back there and see the adjustments they've made.
Jose Altuve makes the play on Sandoval for out number 1. Well, Amy Crawford, who is originally Amy Crawford, now Amy Cole, Brandon's sister, now the wife of Garrett Cole. She was a softball player at UCLA, and she said she always hopes that they both do well and that Garrett gets the win. I'm not sure if she wanted her brother to go deep against her husband.
Not that well.
Not that well. But it's always a tough spot for Amy as she watches these games when they go head-to-head. Here's Austin Jackson. That was Amy right there in the middle. Outside for a ball. It's 1-1. They have a younger sister to the Crawfords who's playing softball now at UCLA. So a lot of UCLA ties between Garrett, Brandon, and the whole Crawford family.
Some serious talent, too, and some family members with good eye-hand coordination, apparently.
Found out a play. It's 1-2. Only 3 hits allowed by Garrett Cole, 2 by Brandon Crawford. The other one by the leadoff hitter in this game, Gorkys Hernandez. Garrett has 6 strikeouts. Added the count 1-2 on Austin Jackson. Now the count's full. Cole's had his pitch count in order up until this inning: 16, 13, 12, and 16. This inning he's been extended a little bit thanks to Brandon Crawford spoiling a couple of 0-2 pitches before hitting a home run. Now his 80th pitch. Catches Stassi on the mask. 23 pitches this inning, the most of any inning, and he's only got about 1 out in the inning so far.
Squared him up pretty good.
The 3-2 pitch misses, ball 4. Second walk this inning, issued by Garrett Cole.
Looking to give back to the Houston community? The Astros Foundation invites you to join the volunteer corps to take part in various volunteer opportunities, including game day activities at Minute Maid Park, craft parties at local hospitals, and much more. For more information and to sign up, visit astros.com/volunteer.
The home run by Crawford this inning snapped a scoreless streak of 20 innings plus this inning for Garrett Cole against National League teams. Mr. Posey and Brandon Crawford discussing that home run. Kelby Tomlinson will bat with 1 on and 1 out. Swing and a miss. Last year, the home run ball bit Garrett Cole a little bit. 31 home runs in a little more than 200 innings. Finished third in the National League in innings pitched. Bunt attempt by Tomlinson and a good one. No chance for Altuve. The Giants will have 2 on with 1 out.
Giants opting for small ball. Well timed and well placed. There you can see that shift, and Altuve playing back in that double play depth. No chance.
It's now 4 hits for the Giants. 2 this inning to go along with a couple of walks. Back to the top of the order, Gorkys Hernandez. Hernandez singled to right and flied out to center. The single to right dropped just in front of George Springer in shallow right field. He and Tony Kemp are playing Gorkys way around the other way and very shallow. Takes a pitch for a ball. See how shallow Kemp is. Springer the same in right. There's a strike called. It's 1-1. Now Cole ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Last time out, Cole threw 98 pitches in 5 innings, sitting at 87 right now.
To 30 in this inning.
Yeah, that escalated in a hurry.
On the ground towards Correa, flips to Altuve, the return, and a double play. Correa, Altuve, Gurriel. As Garrett Cole gets out of any further damage. Giants score 2. It's a 5-2 Astros lead. to you by Rooms to Go. Now's the time to save during the big Memorial Day sale. And by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Astros lead 5-2 halfway home, bottom half of the 5th inning. The Giants' all-time rival, the LA Dodgers, losing to the Astros in 7 games last year in the World Series. The Astros getting to celebrate on November 1st at Dodger Stadium. Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa leading things off. Giants start the inning with bullpen action going. Andrew Suarez has not been as effective with his command the last couple of innings. And as Pierce Johnson warming up in the San Francisco bullpen. Called strike to Bregman. It's 1-2. Alex doubled in a run his last time up. He's also flied out to center field. Three and 2 the count. Alex checks a close one. Didn't miss by much, but it missed. That's a leadoff walk for Alex Bregman.
That's what Alex does so well. Oh, hey. I think the bases were loaded on that swing, too.
Were they?
Might have been 0-2, 0-3.
Repping the Astros.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Micah.
Slow walk out from the dugout for Bruce Bochy. And that usually means a pitching change is imminent. Boch has watched his left-hander give up 5 runs in the last 2 innings, plus a leadoff walk in this inning, and that'll do it for Andrew Suarez. Well, Suarez leaves the game. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. By Old Dominion in interleague play since last year. 18-8 for the Astros, scoring almost 6 runs a game. Team batting average at 288. They come out swinging tonight.
It's like they've been there before. They like playing against some of those National League teams.
Well, the Giants go to their bullpen after Suarez leaves one batter into the 5th inning. And they will turn to their right-hander, Pierce Johnson.
Pierce gave them an inning back in Colorado on the 19th. He had a couple of strikeouts in that appearance. Fastball averaging right around 93.5 miles an hour. curveball and a cut fastball at 89. He is yet to allow an inherited run to score.
He's got one on first with nobody out, and Jose Altuve at the plate. And he takes a called strike. Altuve flied out to deep center field his last time up. He also popped up to second base. Astros end up with 7 hits against Suarez. He also walked a couple of batters. Has allowed 5 runs so far, responsible for Bregman on first. And a called strike. It's 0-2. Altuve riding a 6-game hitting streak, batting .391. One and two. Runner on the move, pitches outside, and the throw is into center field. Bregman gets a stolen base. He'll have to stay at second as Jackson gets it back in. Alex Bregman with his team leading 4 steal of the year.
And he slid nowhere near second base. He goes well to the outside when he saw Brandon Crawford coming across, and he thought about going to third, but he had to remember to touch second base.
He was barely he wasn't even within reaching distance of the bag.
He'd have gotten called out on a double play.
Instead, it turns into a steal. Now Altuve with a 2-2 count. Altuve has 3 steals. Now Alex takes the team lead with 4. Good look by Altuve. It's 3-2. Johnson fastball, cutter, and curveball. Throw the fastballs much to right-hand hitters as he does the lefties. 3-2 on Altuve. Probably will challenge him here. Outside corner, called third strike.
A lot of cutters and fastballs on that outside corner. I think Jose was waiting for that ball to cut maybe a little more off that plate. But we've seen these edges expand a little bit, but Tim is behind the plate, and at 96, pretty good pitch.
Here's Carlos Correa. He is lined out and struck out. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Tried to hold up, but he goes around, says first base umpire Rod Drake. Had a play on the right side, 1-2. Johnson was claimed off waivers by the Giants in the offseason. Late in the season last year. He was a member of the Cubs all year. Spent the majority of the year at AAA Iowa and then appeared in 1 game for the Cubs at the big league level. Acquired by the Giants September 20th of last year. Slow chopper back to the mound. Johnson gives it a look and flips to first for out number 2. Bart.
Hey Todd, thanks a lot. Fans, are you the ultimate Southwest fan? AT&T Sportsnet is looking each month for the biggest baseball fan in the Southwest. West Texas, May is your month. Use hashtag UltimateSWFan WTX on Twitter and show us why you are the ultimate fan. And you could win a VIP experience. Watch the Astros all season long on their TV home, AT&T Sportsnet. Guys, back to you.
All right, 2 outs. Runner on third base.
Oh, wow. You know you've arrived when you've got a fat head of you.
When she's not here, she's still here. Julie Morales being represented in the Minute Maid Park crowd tonight.
How about that?
Altuve and Julia hanging out somewhere in the stand. 0-1 the count to Yuli.
That could be the most powerful duo in Houston.
Ground ball towards Crawford. Couple big hops for Brandon, who makes the play for the final out. So a walk, and Pierce Johnson does not allow the run to score. We head to the 6th, still 5-2.
Brought to you by GMC. Earlier today, we saw Tony Kemp making a pretty good play out there in center field behind Garrett Cole. And there are the rankings. J.D. Davis out there in left field. The only reason I really put that green light on there is because I know he's going to be challenged because he is just up, hasn't played a lot of outfield in his career in the minor leagues. Tony Kemp moving from left to center. He's also a second baseman who's transitioned into that outfield. So we'll put a yellow on him because he is actually very aggressive in going and getting the baseball. And George Springer out there in right, he is definitely a red light. He can go get it, and sometimes he can back it up with that strong arm.
Garrett Cole faces Andrew McCutchen to lead off the 6th inning. Cole working now with a 5-2 lead, has allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. Only runs that have been scored by the Giants, courtesy of a guy that Garrett Cole's related to, his brother-in-law Brandon Crawford, with a 2-run home run. He has started out this inning though 3-0 on Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen thought he had drawn a walk his last time up and was called out on strikes. He's 0 for 2. He also lined to center. There's a strike called. It's 3-1. Cole had thrown 57 pitches through 4 and then threw 31 pitches last inning. So now he's into the low 90s with his pitch count. And he delivers another strike. McCutchen taking.
Still not a lot of movement out in that Astros bullpen. I'm sure A.J. Hinch is hoping that he can get Garrett Cole to have a clean 6th inning.
Cole with 6 strikeouts tonight. He had his 6 strikeout when McCutchen was called out on strikes his last time up. So they are one time through the lineup without any strikeouts. But he gets one there. Number 7 tonight and number 100 on the season for Garrett Cole.
That's impressive. Doing some serious work, and he's done a lot with that fastball, also touching 98 miles an hour with that fastball to strike out McCutchen.
100 strikeouts for Cole in 67 innings. He gets a called strike on Buster Posey. The crazy part about that number, 67 innings and 100 strikeouts, is he's never had a season with more strikeouts than innings pitched.
He's well ahead of that pace.
He had 1 year in 2014 where he had 138 innings and 138 strikeouts. Every other year, more innings than strikeouts. This year, quite different. Chalk up another one. 101 on the season, 8 in the game as he gets Posey looking at a called third strike.
Perfectly located slider. Middle breaking away. Great hitter in Buster Posey goes down looking.
That's 2 outs, and I'll bring up Brandon Belt. Will Harris starting to warm up in the Astros bullpen. As Cole approaches 100 pitches, this will be his 99th. Bounces up there. Belt is struck out and flied out to right.
Alex Bregman, the only guy on that left side of the infield. He's kind of wandering around, and it feels like he wants to move back because Garrett Cole wanted him to, but somebody in the dugout saying, come back here. He's like, I want to, but Garrett keeps yelling at me.
Now he'll go all the way back on this 2-0 count. Astros figure Brandon Belt won't try to bunt in a hitter's count. He doesn't. It's 3-0. Cole walked 2 last inning. Those are the only 2 walks of the game. And a 4-pitch walk. Walk number 3 for Garrett. And Brandon Belt's a 2-out base runner. Now he'll face Evan Longoria. Longoria walked and scored his last time up. This could be, as strange as it sounds with the brother-in-law on deck, this could be the last batter for Cole. I'm not sure if AJ will let him see Brandon Crawford again. He likes Will Harris on left-hand hitters. And he does have 2 hits against his brother-in-law tonight, including the 2-run home runs. I think if Garrett Cole wants to get through 6, he may have to get Longoria.
I completely agree, especially with that pitch count getting up.
And a strike call. The last thing Garrett Cole wants is to be taken out of the game with his brother-in-law on deck saying,
and a couple of his runners on base. Yeah.
Saying my manager did not want me to face you.
Yeah, that could go a long way. That might turn into a Christmas card.
It's a near swing and no swing. It's 2-1. Astros dugout not real happy with that no call by Rob Drake.
Could be a combination of where the pitch location was and that check swing. You can judge for yourself at home with that barrel getting out in front of home plate. Might have missed one there.
Ground ball towards Bregman. 2 big hops. The plate a second in time to get Belt on the force out. Cole does get through 6 innings, allows 4 hits and 2 runs, and the Astros lead at 5-2.
spotlight. A lot of talk about the Astros offense being inconsistent throughout the season, and it kind of brought to mind how the Astros have been pitched. And we had mentioned quite a bit how maybe they're backing off the fastball because they were very good at hitting the fastball last season. So they have backed off that fastball a little bit by a percentage point. They've gotten heavy on the slider and continue to stay heavy on the cutter, but also that changeup being mixed in. So there has been a little bit of an uptick in that off speed. And again, 1 percentage point may not look like a lot, but over the course of the season, it could be a couple of hundred pitches here or there. But I also feel with that uptick in the off speed, it's a lot of off speed early in counts and some of the fastballs later in counts.
And a lot of chase that has gotten them behind the counts.
Yep.
There's a close chase, but no swing. J.D. Davis takes one outside. It's 1-1. We were talking about that before the game, about the pitch selection and how we haven't seen as many fastballs and more wrinkles, whether it's the curveball or the slider. And the other number that's kind of shocking is that, not tonight because the guys haven't been throwing 94 plus against them, but the fastball 94 plus batting average is way down this year.
Yeah, it is, and these guys aren't sitting on that heater, and I think that might be why they've changed to the off speed early in counts, because we saw last year if the Astros were ready for that fastball, they were absolutely destroying it. It was a high batting average, but I also feel like it was a high damage number too. They were slugging pretty well against it.
Our third compadre in the booth Saturday has been preaching that in the first two telecasts he's been on, Jeff Bagwell.
And it's really interesting to talk to guys who have Hall of Fame careers and just try and get into the mentality of it. But it was amazing. It's always amazing to me to hear Baggy talk about how simple his approach was, how he used the fastball to get ready for the other pitches. And he mostly sat on mistake pitches up in the zone. He wasn't going out there looking for nasty, because if you go out there and start to look for nasty, you're going to start to chase a little bit. So he's looking for just a fastball on the outside corner, and if he gets that mistake out over the plate, he's back, his hands are back and ready to fire, and he usually hammered it.
That's a great point, because you can look nasty, get nasty, and as it's leaving the zone, still take a swing at it. It's not your pitch.
Exactly.
Just because you recognize what you were expecting doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a strike.
Exactly. That's so true, because that happens too. You can get into a guess mode, and you say, I know I'm getting a slider here. If I get the slider, I am going to swing and hit the slider. Instead of saying, if I get a slider in the strike zone, that's the one I'm going to attack.
Here's Evan Gattis, runner on first base, nobody out. Gattis had himself a double to start a 3-run rally in the third inning. It's 1 for 2, also flied out to right. Astros lead 5-2. The Giants have gone to their bullpen in the 5th inning tonight. They threw a lot of pitches in their game Sunday, 95 bullpen pitches in the game Sunday against Colorado. Good breaking ball there from Pierce Johnson, and it's a called strike on Gattis. It's 1-1. J.D. Davis on for the second time with a couple of walks. Gattis takes a strike. Little cue shot towards right center. That's going to fall in for a hit. To second goes J.D. Davis. Evan Gattis has his second hit. And the Astros with runners on first and second and nobody out.
That's a lot of what we saw last year also, is 2-strike counts. Guys just putting the ball in play. Sometimes it works out for the best. Got a little bit quick on that 91-mile-an-hour, what tried to be a cut fastball off the end of the bat, perfectly placed out there in center.
Now Stassi will bat. He was 2 for 2 against the lefty starter Suarez, now facing the righty Pierce Johnson. And Stassi takes a called strike.
Future Stassi. That's right.
Mentioned the Stassi splits this year, 150 against righties. Takes a close one there. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that was a pretty good pitch. And it's interesting that Stassi's matchups against left-handers are so high, and against right-handers, granted not as many ABs to really get comfortable in their right on right. But a lot of right-handed pitchers will throw sliders and fastballs away to Max Stassi, staying away from the barrel. Whereas left-handers have a tendency to crossfire a little bit, and their breaking pitches come into the right-hander.
Three and one. No, Stassi doesn't have a high batting average against righties. 2 of his 3 home runs again come against right-hand pitching. Tony Kemp waits on deck. He already has 2 RBIs tonight. Stassi ahead of the count, 3-1 after being down 0-1. Astros with 2 on and nobody out. And ball 4. A walk, a flare single by Gaddis, and another walk. And the Astros have the bases loaded with nobody out. Same scenario for Tony Kemp. Bases loaded last time he batted with 1 out and drove in 2. Another visit to the mound.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kurt Young's going to run out there and tell him what Max Stassi's average was against right-handed pitching, knowing that he lost him on that base on balls. But he's got himself a little bit of a situation here. It's interesting to see the infield on this mound too, because it could be a lot of how to pitch Tony Kemp. It also could be how do we play defense against him, because Tony Kemp handles the bat well.
The Eagles are coming to Minute Maid Park. The 6-time Grammy Award winners will be joined by special guest Chris Stapleton on Friday, June 15th. A limited number of tickets are still available for the evening with the Eagles. It's tickets and information. Go to astros.com/Eagles. Tony Kemp bats, bases loaded. Already driven in 2. Kemp batting .385 on the season. The infield is in for the Giants with nobody out. Pitch misses outside, ball 1. Gotta think Kemp's going to get a fastball here to hit. Davis on third, Gaddis on second, Stassi on first. Well, he doesn't get the fastball and he misses. It's 2-0.
Interesting. A couple of fastball, a couple of breaking balls early. It also goes to the theory, if the guy hits the fastball good, you want to get that breaking ball over. But if you can't get it over for a strike, it kind of defeats the purpose, because now he's sitting fastball.
Got one, batted away. It's 2-1.
Well, let it go. Try and let that thing eat.
Tony would like to have that pitch back.
He would, and Tony Kemp looking for a pitch he can drive to that outfield, because on our StatCast, that gives you an idea of how deep he has to hit that fly ball for the sac fly. Again, that red zone is where you might see J.D. Davis shut it down. But that yellow and green, you know Gary Pettis is going to implore J.D. Davis to try and take a chance.
Low ball 3. Kemp has a 3-1 count with the bases loaded.
Again, that StatCast tool takes into account runner's speed, arm strength, and then adjusts to the depth. See, Austin Jackson maybe doesn't have the greatest of arms.
Out of play down the left field side.
And Tony Kemp may have chased one, but at the same time, he's looking for something elevated that he can drive to the outfield, and that was a pitch up in the zone that might be the reason why he went after it. But now he's going to tone it down a little bit, because if he can take that walk, still counts as a run.
He's never had a 3 RBI game at the big league level. Count is full. Many of the fans are standing with nobody out, and the base is loaded.
Love it.
Into left field, Davis going back to tag. Caught by Hernandez. Davis is going to try and score, and he will. Sacrifice fly by Tony Kemp. His first Major League 3 RBI night, and the Astros lead it 6-2.
And again, those 2 breaking balls early in the count are what led to this AB. Falling behind 2-0 and giving Tony Kemp a chance to see some multiple fastballs in this at-bat. Did a great job driving in J.D. Davis. That was beautiful.
J.D. scoring his second run of the game, just beating the throw by Gorkys Hernandez. That will be the last batter that Pierce Johnson faces. We'll tell you about the new reliever after this.
The AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or go to AT&TSportsnet.com to stream from your computer. Log on with your cable account information and you're all set. Available to customers whose TV subscription includes AT&T Sportsnet. Subject to blackouts, territorial restrictions apply. Guys, back up to you.
All right, Bart, new pitcher in the game for the Giants, Reyes Maranta.
Back on the 18th, threw a couple of innings for the San Francisco Giants. Threw 34 pitches in 2 innings. Making his 20th appearance. Great ERA at 1.29. Just over a strikeout per inning.
Allows a lot of fly balls. Also has walked more than his share this year, but overall good numbers as he faces George Springer, the 25-year-old righty, facing Springer with 1 out and 2 on. And that first pitch misses for ball 1.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. You have 14 walks in those innings and only have an ERA of 1.29. Throws hard, mid-90s, changeup and a curveball and a slider.
There is that breaking ball in the outside corner. That curveball comes in around 81, the slider around 83, 84. Maranta throws harder than anybody else in their bullpen. And he catches the corner. It's 1-2.
Not sure if that's where Maranta wanted it, but that was a pretty good pitch inside.
Mostly fastball slider to right-hand hitters, especially ahead of the count. You'll see that slider. And he gets Springer swinging. Out number 2. First strikeout for Maranta, facing the first batter. Now we'll see Alex Bregman.
pretty good bend. Kind of sweeps across that strike zone. In order for a right-hander to get out there and get around that, you've got to swing pretty early.
That's going to be one of the issues in this series. A lot of these pitchers the Astros have never faced before coming out of the Giants bullpen. And in a 2-game set, you might not even see half of their bullpen or barely half their pen. Here's Alex Bregman. Pitch misses to Bregman, 1-0. Here's Johnson, the previous pitcher, had not faced any of the Astros before tonight. Aranta, who pitched in 7 games with the Giants last year, has never faced the Astros before tonight. And a called strike to Alex. It's 1-1. Astros have scored a run in the inning on the sacrifice fly by Tony Kemp, who has driven in 3 out of the 6 runs. Outside and low, it's 2-1. Alex has good numbers with runners in scoring position, batting .325 on the year. There's a strike. It's 2-2.
Some tough pitches that Alex has had to take for strikes. Slider on the inside corner and then a fastball painted down.
Stays alive at 2-2. Altuve may get a shot this inning. Jose still looking for his first hit. In fact, Altuve and Correa, believe it or not, are the only 2 Astros that haven't reached base. Usually that's not a 6-run game when those 2 aren't on.
You ain't lying. The bottom portion of this lineup doing damage for the Astros.
Outside, ball 3. Gives a head start to Gaddis off second. And Stassi off first with 2 outs. "12 chances to 1 runners in scoring position." That looks good.
That was a number they could improve on even at the 250 mark, but with 2 outs, under 200.
They'll do it all again. Gaddis a 2-hit night. Stassi's been on base 3 times, 2 hits and a walk. Bottom third of the order has been on base 6 times. Officially 5 for 7 with 4 runs batted in. Bregman fouls one back.
That is a tough pitch for a guy to stay on. Slider inside, you want to give up on it, but it's breaking back over the plate, so you got to hold your ground as a right-handed hitter.
Evan Longoria going out to the mound, and he calls Buster Posey with him. Only 1 mound visit remaining for the Giants. Third baseman going in there, possibly he felt maybe Gaddis was helping out with location.
It's always a possibility with an Astro at second base. Because Alex Bregman did keep that front side closed for an extremely long time on that front door slider.
Runners on the move again. This one down the line, past Longoria, fair ball. Gaddis scores. Stassi being held up. Double for Alex Bregman. Astros lead 7-2.
Or maybe he just said he can't get it by me. And Alex just proved him wrong. That was that same slider. Remember what I said about getting that barrel out ahead of the baseball. You got to get that ball well out in front of home plate. much like Alex Bregman just did to yank that ball down the line. You could hear the bat break, but it goes down a hero. Driving in Evan Gattis. 2 out RBIs.
Bregman with 2 RBI doubles tonight. And the Astros have another crooked number. They have scored another base hit. Jose Altuve, base hit to left. 1 run scores. Bregman trying to score. Safe at home plate. 9-2 on the Altuve 2 RBI single.
Altuve wanting in on the action. On the attack early, a fastball that misses its spot, coming right back to Altuve at 98. And he's got plenty of bat speed to turn on that with 2 outs. Alex Bregman basically off with the swing. Got himself a great jump, scored easily. But the Astros scoring runs at home.
How about that? 9 runs scored tonight. And here's Carlos Correa. Everybody at least has 1 hit or has been on base twice, with the exception of Correa, who was 0 for 3. He lined out his first time up, struck out, and grounded back to the pitcher. And Correa down in the count 0-2.
It's good to see him going after that fastball.
Always fun to the sweet level up here at Minute Maid Park. Carlos batting .180 this month, has drawn his share of walks. And has 4 home runs this month. So his OPS is .732 despite the .180 batting average coming in this month. Down to the count 1-2. 3-run third, 2-run fourth, 4 more in the 6th. Astros out 9-2. Eric Cole's night has been done for a while. The Astros have a new reliever warming up in the bullpen with this 7-run lead. It's now Tony Sipp loosening up. Saw Will Harris warming earlier.
Well, it's amazing how things change. You got to have a fluid bullpen in situations. You don't want to say anything against Tony Sipp, but obviously Harris was the high leverage guy.
Harris would have been in if the game was a little closer, but now it's 9-2 as the Astros head to the 7th. All new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Astros offense with a big number tonight, leading 9-2 as we head to the 7th inning. And Tony Sipp is the new pitcher for the Astros.
Last time out there, Tony had a clean inning against Cleveland, throwing 21 pitches on the season. This will be his 11th appearance. Got that whip almost down to 1.
Sipp will face Brandon Crawford, Pablo Sandoval, and Austin Jackson, 6, 7, and 8 in the Giants lineup. J.D. Davis has to retrieve an errant baseball out in left field. Reason for the slight delay to start this inning. Only 4 hits allowed by Garrett Cole after 6 innings of work tonight. 2 of the hits from this guy. So the battle of brother-in-laws, Brandon Crawford with the advantage tonight, 2 for 2 with a 2-run home run. But Garrett Cole on the right side of a 9-2 game.
He's back into getting quality starts. Now 9 of 10 starts for Garrett Cole have ended up being quality starts. Going at least 6 innings and giving up 3 runs or less.
It's been remarkable this year. Cole now having made 10 starts with the Astros, sitting at 67 2/3 innings. ERA still hovering below 1.90. And he's up to 101 strikeouts with the 8 strikeouts tonight. 1-1 the count to Crawford. And it's not like Garrett Cole is the only one that Brandon Crawford's hitting lately. He's riding a 9-game hitting streak right now, and he's 18 for 31.
Yeah, safe to say he's seeing the baseball well, no matter whose hand it's coming out of.
He's just one of those guys who is kind of locked in at this point. 2 Brandons, Crawford and Belt, having huge weeks, but Sipp may have retired him here. Yuli will take it himself on the grounder to first. And the Astros able to get Brandon Crawford for the first time, 1 out in the 7th. Base is clear. That'll bring up Pablo Sandoval, DHing tonight. He has struck out into a double play and grounded out. Astros and Giants right back at it tomorrow, day game. We'll be on the air with you at 12:30. It'll be Justin Verlander against Jeff Samardzija. Quick 2-game series, and then out on the road, the Astros will take on Cleveland and New York on that road trip, and then come back home for the Boston Red Sox. That is a pretty severe gauntlet they'll have coming up. Already showed you the best records in the American League. Red Sox and Yankees have been pacing the way most of the year in the AL. It misses to Sandoval. It's 1-1.
3 of the best teams in the American League, arguably, in the next week and a half.
Smith warming up for the Astros. And they would like a little payback against the Yankees, who took 3 out of 4 in that last series and had a stretch of 28 consecutive scoreless innings, as they really shut down Houston bats, not only in that series but also in the ALCS last year.
You say it's going to be interesting having the Astros back in Yankee Stadium after everything that went down in the Bronx in that ALCS. They did not look like the same Houston Astros that ended up going on to win the World Series.
If you do the math, with Justin Verlander making that start before the 4-game series against Cleveland, that means Verlander would be in line to pitch on Memorial Day against the Yankees to start that series.
It's kind of cool. What's even more interesting is in that Giants dugout right now, it's not the conversation they're having, but in the back of their minds, they're realizing that they're down 9-2 in the 7th inning, and Justin Verlander going tomorrow. Wow. Internally, you're saying, man, I wish I would have been like Brandon Crawford who got my hits tonight.
When you look at this Astros team and their rotation, in the past, when Lance was starting to establish himself and it was Keuchel and McCullers, and then those two guys were the guys on this 3-2 pitch. It's pop foul. Those were the two guys you looked at whenever you're playing the Astros a few years ago, and we're like, we hope we avoid Keuchel McCullers.
Exactly.
Now, if you avoid Keuchel McCullers, you get three guys that are sub-2 in ERA.
Careful what you wish for.
Right? And this Giants team facing the number 2 pitcher in the American League in ERA, followed by the top pitcher in ERA. Zip with a 3-2 count on Sandoval. And he loses him. Sandoval with a good battle there, draws a walk with 1 out.
Time now to name that Astro. We gave you some of the clues earlier. It's brought to you by Nissan, Arlington, Texas, April 28, 2007. Bill Nye the Science Guy. A lot of people got this right on Twitter. Hunter Pence went to the University of Texas in Arlington. Made his debut in 4/28/07 and guest appearance on Bill Nye Saves the World. Why wouldn't it be Hunter Pence? My daughters enjoyed being around the team when Hunter Pence was on the team, because I was here. I came here in 08, 9 and 10 for my second stint. Got to be here for Hunter Pence. He is truly one of the more joyous guys to be around and interesting guys in all of baseball. But my daughters got a kick out of it because they were 3, 4, 5 at the time. Tough to hear the PA announcer, Bill Ford here. Bob Ford, sorry. And they said, that guy at number 9 with the high pants, Daddy, he's really good. Then I go, do you know his name? They go, yeah, Underpants. Nice. they thought his name sounded like Underpants over the PA. So, but Hunter was a great guy, good teammate. He's gone on to do great things in that Giant uniform.
He's currently on the DL for them. Right thumb sprain for Hunter Pence, or Underpants. 1-1 to Austin Jackson. They have a few guys that are hoping to get back soon. We mentioned Bumgarner, who were off the mound today, a little live BP. 1-1 pitch to Jackson is fouled away. It's 1-2. They hope to get Joe Panik back soon, and Johnny Cueto's been on the DL with elbow inflammation. So they've been kind of piecing things together without some of their key players, especially in their rotation.
Their closer, Mark Melanson, ex-Astro. He's been on the shelf for quite a while, basically since becoming a Giant. Johnny Cueto got off to an electric start.
Cueto's got right elbow inflammation. And Melanson has a right elbow flexor strain. He went on the 60-day DL back in late March when the season started.
Anytime you hear pitcher and elbow, never a good combo, especially when they're involved in a DL stint.
Ball's hit hard to left field for a base hit. Giants will put 2 runners on here with 1 out. Austin Jackson on base for the second time, a walk and a base hit. Gets A.J. Hinch out of the dugout. Zip gets a ground out for the first out, then 2 runners on, and A.J. is going to go to his bullpen. Joe Smith had been warming up. We'll tell you about Joe Smith when we come back. Astros going back to their bullpen, and Joe Smith takes over.
Joe Smith, 4 of his last 5 outings had been scoreless. Now on for his 17th appearance. That ERA is a little inflated. Continuing to go out there and try and work that back down. 13 strikeouts in those 13 1/3 innings pitched.
He'll face the number 9 hitter, the right-hand hitting Kelby Tomlinson, as the first batter he sees. Tomlinson with a push bunt hit against Garrett Cole. He also struck out. Of the 4 hits allowed by Cole in 6 innings of work, 1 was that bunt hit by Tomlinson. 2 of the other 4 were less than 70 miles an hour exit velocity off the bat. Hernandez a single in the first, and Crawford a single in the second, and then the home run by Crawford into the aptly named Crawford boxes. This one back to Smith. He has a chance to turn 2. Altuve 1 and a double play. Joe Smith on the comebacker turns 2 and gets out of a first and second, 1 out to him.
Baseball. Bottom portion of that lineup for the Houston Astros stepping up big. Evan Gattis getting himself a base hit. Max Stassi double himself, breaking one into left center field. Tony Kemp a base hit, sac bunt, sac fly, 3 RBIs. A little bit of a duck snort getting on there. There's that sac fly from Tony Kemp. So a lot of fun watching some of these new faces for the Houston Astros. J.D. Davis, Max Stassi, Tony Kemp. Some guys going out there and doing some damage, alleviating some of the pressure from some of those superstars at the top portion of the lineup.
Yeah, 4 runs scored, 4 RBIs for that bottom third. That's a good night. That's one of the strengths of the Astros 2017 team, as they rolled over 1 through 9 as well as anybody in the league. Just called up today, Joel Osich takes over in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, he's been going back and forth a couple of times for the San Francisco Giants.
Facing Yuli Gurriel, J.D. Davis, and Evan Gattis. Jose Valdez was optioned out to make room for the lefty Osich, and Yuli inside out's one, not hit hard, but it finds a little green grass in the outfield. That'll be Yuli's second hit, both opposite field hits, and he's the leadoff base runner in the 7th.
Hits is hits. Osich may have actually lucked out, missing his spot and throwing that pitch in, because previously in a couple of games before this one, we've seen Yuli do a good job with some pitches up out over the plate, drive him in that right center field gap for multiple bases.
Here's J.D. Davis, a strikeout and a couple of walks, and a fastball misses outside at 96. Osich, one of 3 left-handers in the Giants bullpen, along with Will Smith and Tony Watson. Astros with an all-righty lineup with the exception of Tony Kemp, who has driven in a career-high 3 runs. Pitch misses, it's 2-0. JD has been patient tonight, not leaving the zone. And he checks his swing on a pitch down low. It's 3-0. Well, as hot as JD is, and a 9-2 game, we'll see what happens here at 3-0. Upstairs, J.D. Davis draws his 3rd consecutive walk.
I thought you said he was hitting 425. I didn't realize he was such an on-base machine with the walks.
True outcome night for JD, a strikeout and 3 walks. That's getting on base, not trying to do too much when the pitchers aren't coming into the zone.
It's a good move, too, the way the bottom of this lineup's been swinging the bats. He scored 2 runs.
Here's Evan Gattis, a couple of hits for Evan tonight. Double down the line in left and a single to right. Way up and away. It's 1-0. Cued off the end of the bat. Played there by the first baseman Belt. Wide throw and a great play by the pitcher Osich, who made the catch on a wide throw and still able to get to the bag.
Yeah, that's not going to go on a highlight reel, but I'm with you. That was a pretty good play to accomplish the out. Not an easy play for Belt with that baseball spinning off the end of the bat of Evan Gattis. Good backhand pickup, and then he's got to throw over the head of the umpire. Then you've got a snow cone. Did he touch first?
That's what Alex Cintron was wondering. I guess he got a piece of it there.
Yeah, that heel clipped it on the way down. Then he showed him his snow cone, asked him what flavor.
That was the closest you could possibly come to not recording it out. Ball barely in the glove, foot barely on the bag. But it's an out. Stassi facing a lefty. This is usually a good thing as he fouls one away. Max 2 for 2 tonight. Both hits coming against the lefty, Andrew Suarez. He's now 14 for 26 on the year against left-hand pitching.
Good changeup. Max trying to crush that heater, but that was a changeup down.
Stassi goes down swinging. 2 outs in the inning. First time Stassi's been retired tonight.
Slowed him down with a couple of changeups for the strikeout.
Here's Tony Kemp. He's already set a career high with 3 runs batted in, has second and third and 2 outs. A 2 RBI single against the lefty and a sac fly his last time up against the righty. Now goes the other way, and this one slices into the crowd. Astros have had double digits in scoring 5 times this year. The first time here at home against Baltimore. Then they went back-to-back with 10 runs in Chicago against the White Sox. 11 against the A's here on the 28th of April, and then a 16-run outburst against Oakland on May 7th on the road. One and one to count.
They're giving Tony that push bunt towards second base.
He hits it hard towards center field. Jackson on the move. He won't get there. Base hit. 2 runs will score. Give Tony Kemp his 4th and 5th RBIs of the night. A career night for Tony Kemp. It is 11-2.
But when you're swinging it like Tony, go ahead and trust your skills. Have a night, Tony. The other TK. And that's just a player who knows his skills and understands situations and doesn't try and do too much. Compact swing, stay up the middle, drop it over there in center field, drive in a couple of runs. The guys in front of him getting on base, creating opportunities for Tony.
Previous career high was 2 runs batted in. He has 5 tonight. A.J. Hinch said when Tony Kemp was called up, he's going to get a chance to play.
This should increase his chances.
Oh, he has been quite a spark for this offense. This misses the Springer. It's 1-1. Kemp had the go-ahead run batted in that game on Saturday, our last telecast, when he doubled in a run down the right field line, almost turned into a triple. Actually, that was on Friday night before our Saturday telecast. Here's a foul back to the screen. It's 1-2.
And he's a unique component in this lineup. He's really the only guy in this lineup who isn't basing his offensive prowess on destruction and just trying to just do malevolent damage all over the place. He just gets on base, has tough ABs, takes advantage of what's given to him.
Giants were really shaded around the other way against him, and he ended up sending a ball on the line to center field straight away. Springer into center field. This will send Jackson back, still on the move. He'll get there, and he makes the play for the final out. But the Astros tack on 2 more thanks to Tony Kemp, who now has 5 runs batted in. 11-2.
By Chevy. Which NL team do you miss playing the most? St. Louis Cardinals with 55%. A little bit of a rivalry when they came down here to H-Town. Second place, the Cubs with 30%. Not much left for the Giants, who are in town, and the Astros are taking it to them.
We'll see the Cubs and the Cardinals next year in interleague play, as the Astros will take on the NL Central in 2019. Taking over in the 8th in this 11-2 game is Brad Peacock.
Haven't seen Brad in a while.
Oh, where's he been?
Just hanging out, enjoying the view, watching some big league ball games. 14th was the last time Brad Peacock was on the mound. He only went 1 inning, had a couple of strikeouts, and threw 20 pitches.
He's working on 7 days rest.
Put him in the rotation.
I'm going to say I had less rest when I was in the rotation. Brad was outstanding last year, moving back and forth between the starting rotation and the bullpen. This is a little flare into left center field, and Carlos Correa, the great catch over the shoulder, makes a basket catch to save a base hit.
He is the only Astro in this lineup without a hit, and he's been struggling in his last 25 ABs, but not giving up on this play at all. This is an understanding of your own athleticism and understanding that your left fielder doesn't have a shot at this, so you just go all out, and he did.
I'm not sure if people can appreciate how hard a play that was. For a guy as a third baseman, you had to go back on.
Yeah, it's not easy running over your head, and you can see you kind of making that banana hook, trying to track that baseball, and you had to have your head tilted all the way back to stay on track with it. He's impressive all the way around. It's a great look at it. You can see how far back that head is tilted. Get the bill of the cap out of the way, and then you've got to be creative enough to anticipate where that ball is going to be.
What a play. In the scheme of things, it's not going to be a game saver, but that was one of the better plays you'll see Carlos Correa make, and he's had quite a defensive season all around. Peacock had 1 and 2 on Andrew McCutchen. And he fights one off down the right field line, and this will be just foul. A couple of near misses from the Giants in this inning.
Well, we've seen the Giants kind of peck away with some of that soft contact. Luckily, it hasn't led to big innings.
McCutchen has lined out to center and struck out a couple of times tonight. Second strikeout was the 100th of the season for Garrett Cole. Cole ended up going 6 innings, 2 runs, 8 strikeouts, did walk 3. One of those 3 came around to score. Slowly hit towards Altuve in the shift. Altuve makes the throw in time, and there's 2 away. Garrett saw that ERA go from 1.75 to 1.86 tonight with those 2 runs allowed. We'll still have 3 below 2, approaching the 50-game mark. I showed you before the game that the only time that's happened in the live ball era was 1968. And that was the year of the pitcher. 2 different teams had that accomplishment in '68 at this point of the season. In '68, the MLB ERA was 2.98 as a league.
This guy's had terrible launch angles.
So if you're comparing this starting rotation to what happened in 1968, it's even that much more impressive.
It's incredible.
The highest team ERA in that season in '68 was 3.64, the Washington Senators.
Those guys were terrible.
3.64 these days will put you in the top 5.
And they lowered the mounds after that
the
year,
next
right?
year.
Yeah,
from 15 to 10 inches.
They were that dominant.
They lowered the mound from 15 to 10 inches, and they kind of tightened up the strike zone a little bit too, because the pitching was just that good. These Astros starters, during the off day, you flip around and listen to different things, but they're getting to the point now where they're not only being compared to, the best rotation in the last few years, they're being talked about as the best rotation potentially ever.
Ever. Yeah, they have done that well for that long to be considered.
Tomorrow will be game number 50 for the Astros. Broken bat for Brandon Belt, and this one is going to drop on the line for a fair ball. That'll be a double as it bounces into the stands. So one of these innings for Brad Peacock as Belt doubles on the line and left.
Unbelievable.
Back.
Couldn't have thrown it out there any better.
Now this has been a strange inning. Back-to-back hits allowed by Peacock, and now he will face Evan Longoria. I think A.J. Hinch, no matter what the score was tonight, barring a Garrett Cole complete game, was going to get Brad Peacock support.
Had to. Can't have those extended times. Got to get out there, feel the adrenaline.
In many ways, this guy was the pitching MVP for this team last year. For what he did coming out of the bullpen, moving into the rotation when Keuchel, McCullers, Morton were going through injuries, and then moving back to the bullpen and then performing the same duties in the postseason as well. Longoria to right field, long run Springer. He's going to get there and make the play as he crosses into the warning track. Longoria flies out to deep right for the final out of the inning. Of a season, the Astros, and the live ball era is kind of starting in 1920, so really since the live ball era began, just the 68 Indians at 112, and the Astros with all those other teams pre-live ball era, 1917, 1907.
Did anybody outside of Chicago go and try and sign any pitching?
Apparently not.
They just stockpiled and monopolized the pitching in 1907, 17, and 19.
The teens in the 1900s were all Chicago.
Man.
North side and south side had some arms.
Wind must have been blowing in.
Louis Tiant was part of that staff in '68 that had those great numbers. Here's Alex Bregman. Sam McDowell. Bregman takes a pitch for a ball. It's 1-0. Bregman's had himself a nice game. A couple of RBI doubles. He's also walked and stolen a base. Alex with a 6-game hitting streak now has that average up to 271. This has been a slow climb for Alex over the last month plus.
Could have been a little bit faster if some of those hard hit outs had ended up being hits, but continuing to persevere. What I love about Alex is he really doesn't change who he is. He just goes up there and has gritty at bats. When he has the chance, he gets the barrel to it and sees what happens.
Changes on the infield for the Giants. Brandon Crawford's out of the game. Kelby Tomlinson shifts from second base to shortstop. And Miguel Gomez is the new second baseman. was close to the perfect game for Amy Cole. If Brandon, her brother's opposite field home run had been maybe a double off the wall, that probably would have been a little more perfect.
Yeah.
The 2 runs, probably could do without that. But on a night where her husband gave up 4 hits, that was the only one of any velocity that was.
Yeah, that's true.
The other 3 hits were a bunt and 2 flares. Bregman with a count of 2-2. It'll be Bregman, Altuve, Correa in the bottom half of the 8th inning. 35,638. Some have left, getting ready for the day game tomorrow. As Bregman goes the opposite way, sending McCutchen back, and he will get there and make the play for out number 1. Alex hit it hard the other way, but he's retired for the first out. I'll bring up Jose Altuve, who has a single and 4 at-bats. Altuve has led outright in hits for 4 consecutive years in the American League, something that has never happened in either the National or American Leagues before. But now Altuve is in quite a race. He is bunched up with a number of guys for the hit lead as we approach game number 50 on the season. Altuve coming in with 61 hits. Gene Segura, Mookie Betts have 61. Manny Machado has 62. JD Martinez has 60. Late swing there by Altuve at 97. It's 2-1.
Osich showing a good arm. Along with that 97-mile-an-hour fastball, he's shown some good changeups.
Been out of the Giants bullpen each of the last 3 seasons. Altuve towards short. Tomlinson, a long throw. Altuve beats it out. 2nd consecutive hit for Altuve. Puts him up to 63 base hits on the year. He's a 1-out base runner.
Once Tomlinson gets on his heels, there's really no chance. Now Altuve, that's how you rack up hits, being able to have that kind of speed to get some infield hits.
Correa batting for the 5th time. Carlos still looking for that first knock. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Up high at 96. It's 1-0. That hit by Altuve is hit number 13 on the night for the Astros. Out hitting the Giants 13-7, leading the game 11-2.
I'm always talking about speed of the game and how it doesn't really translate on TV. Most of the reason is because these guys are so good, they make the game look easy, but at the same time, the speed of the game. Jose Altuve got down to first in 4.18 seconds. That's how much time you have to catch and throw. And we talk about how fast guys are. We use it in feet per second. Jose Altuve got down to first base running at 31.4 miles an hour. Sorry, 31.4 feet per second.
That's elite speed.
Just over 20 miles an hour, maybe 21 miles an hour.
And he didn't even get out of the box great.
Nope. Topped out at 31. That tells you he smelled that hit, kicked it up a notch, and beat it out.
Carlos Correa draws the walk. Correa on base for the first time. Now bring up Yuli Gurriel. Astros looking to improve to 9-1 in Garrett Cole's 10 starts as an Astro. Personally, he would improve to 5-1 as long as the Astros close out this big lead. Yuli 2 hits, both to right field. He's also scored 2 runs. He's 2 for 4 tonight. One and one the count. Last home run for Yuli was back on April 14th. It went pretty early coming off the DL. It came against the Rangers' Mike Minor. He likes to hunt the fastball. He's got a 2-1 count here to a guy that throws hard. Out it the other way. Best Astro with runners in scoring position is the guy on second base right now, Jose Altuve, who is second in the AL, hitting .400. Yuli is the next best and 5th overall in the league at .385. Towards third, Longoria to second for 1, and they turn to 2 on Yuli Gurriel. Double play to end the inning. We head to the 9th. It's 11-2 Astros. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family. 11-2 Astros. We head to the 9th inning. Astros trying to put the finishing touches on this one. And they will go to Hector Rondon in the 9th.
Hector Rondon bringing that jet fuel in that right arm, put this game away. 18th appearance, good ERA at 2.30, 17 strikeouts in that 15 2/3 fastball slider guy. If he gets that fastball over early, usually leads to good things.
He'll face Miguel Gomez, who will get his first chance to hit in this game. Gomez came on defensively last half inning. Gomez, a switch hitter, batting .333 overall, takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Appreciate the support tonight, as we usually do on this Twitter Tuesday, from the viewership. A lot of people were talking National League Baseball tonight, as our topic was who is going to win the National League. Some people also sending their best along for you in Cooperstown.
Yeah, they've been very kind about it. They've been nice to me on Instagram.
Team to beat in the National League, says CJT Cabrera. Probably the Rockies.
It's not a bad call. Their pitching staff has been doing a good job.
2 big hops to Bregman, the only defender on the left side of the infield, and he makes the play to get Gomez for the first out of the 9th. Yeah, I'd say the Nationals have a good shot.
I'm going to say by the end of it all, they're going to be right there again. They've had some issues once they make it in. Milwaukee Brewers popping up there. They've got some great young talent. some left-handed pitcher, eerily reminiscent of Chris Sale.
Flowing hair.
Yeah, a couple of boosts down, probably come over here and slap me in the back of the head for bringing that up. But Josh Hader is a phenomenal arm. He is racking up strikeouts at a pretty good pace.
Here's Pablo Sandoval. And is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. He's down to the count 0-2. So you're going lefty only in the game?
Yeah, I don't want to ruin my golf swing.
Seriously?
you are such a jerk.
No, I meant seriously. Like that would be a consideration for me.
Oh my gosh, you were like, seriously with your golf swing?
Please, we have a good time out there.
Yeah, we do. No, I just
keep it
just
simple.
a natural. Keep it simple. One side. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I had to, I don't know how many left-handed pitchers are in this event, so I could go up there right-handed, but I feel pretty comfortable left-handed.
There's a home run derby, right?
Yes.
You're going to participate?
I think I'm in it. I'm not 100% sure until I get there. But that's why you saw a lot of elevating in the video on Instagram.
Elevate to celebrate.
Believe it.
In case you're just joining us here, Blummer's playing in the Hall of Fame game coming up this weekend, so we'll miss him in Cleveland for a couple of broadcasts. That'll be Saturday.
Yeah. It's a good thing that I am in the broadcast business now, because my voice will still work, although I may be in shambles sitting in that chair.
Maybe a little sore by the time we get to the
They
Bronx.
may be wheeling me into the press booth.
So how's it going? You hit a couple times.
Yeah, Gene Diaz hit a little bit.
A little soreness.
My shoulders are killing me.
Are they?
Oh man. Yeah, the torso getting back into shape, but really the thing that it was the impact of hitting the baseball again. Kind of the hands the first night were a little jarring. Yeah, I got home that night and I'm just doing this at home going, my gosh. It's like riding a bike.
You have the old bat?
I do. I actually found several of my bats. I swung a T141 and an M253 when I played here with Houston. All the bats I'm taking, which is only 3 bats to Cooperstown, will be Houston Astro bats.
There you go. Representing the Astros in that Hall of Fame game as Panda goes down swinging. Rondon picks up a strikeout, 2 away. And now the Astros 1 out away from a victory.
That's that good heater in good location. A couple of those pitches down, maybe a slider down, but again, the elevation, and we talked about earlier in the game that Sandoval has a tendency to be aggressive with the swing, chasing that fastball up out of the zone.
Astros trying to push the Giants back below 500. They have been at 500 11 times this year, which is the most in the major leagues. And at the same time, the Astros try to improve to 13 games over 500, which would be a new high water mark for the season. With all the distress and concern about this offense, this is still a team that's on pace for more wins than last season. Last year, the team came out a lot faster out of the gates and then had a struggle in the month of August, but 31-18, not too shabby. Only the Yankees and the Red Sox with a better record in the major leagues, and now they are 1 strike away as Rondon has a 1-2 count on Austin Jackson.
It's a lot of fun to be able to complain about a team that is at 31-18. We do have high expectations of these guys, but we also appreciate what they do, and that shouldn't go unnoticed.
Astros looking to improve to 3-1 on this homestand, and they'll have Justin Verlander tomorrow to close out this 5-gamer. Took 2 out of 3 against the Indians. Tomorrow it'll be Verlander against Jeff Samardzija. 2-2 pitch, just a little high, 3-2.
Couldn't get the chase, wanted to.
Alex Bregman, a couple of RBIs tonight on a couple of doubles. Tony Kemp, a career night with 5 runs batted in. Jackson stays alive. Rondon, the 4th pitcher out of the bullpen tonight for A.J. Hinch. Tony Sipp faced 3 batters. Joe Smith faced just 1, but picked up 2 outs on a double play. Nice job on the comebacker by Joe Smith. And then Brad Peacock an inning facing 5 batters, and now Hector Rondon trying to get through the 9th. Called third strike, 1 in the game. Austin Jackson goes down looking. Rondon closes out an 11-2 victory. An impressive night of offense for the Astros. 4 different innings of crooked numbers. And the Fortnite jubilation dance starts the celebration with Springer, J.D. Davis, and Tony Kemp coming in from the outfield. We will have more, including the post-game show, right around the corner.